Hello everyone, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog, gamer as you know. I might have listened to music while I was in between videos. Sorry about that. Great Nick says really good songs. Anyway, so everyone carried the way bit, and then we had a scene of us waking up without any text message, so I don't get to see it. Move to the bathroom. I wake up and take a hot shower. Back in my room, the first thing I see is a familiar row of medication bottles lined up on the top of my dresser. It makes me depressed, as usual. It's annoying. I thought I was okay. I thought I had made my peace with this thing, gotten over it. But what I really did, I allowed myself to forget that I have a problem. Being here really reminds me of the reality. I'm trying to fight against it, it just hurts. Reflecting on it is only going to do so much. I've done this before, for months. It seems like it's time to get over it. If I allow myself to forget that my life is definitely not going to be as long as those of others, I won't get anywhere. My life may be different from others, but it is a life in progress. This is how I rationalize it. I am down the usual handful of pills, trying to push the sudden dreary feeling out of my head. Then I push to head out of the class early as usual. It's in the hallway. I noticed Kenji coming around the hallway corner, stealthily making his way over to his room with a large bag. He sneaks past me, soundless like a ninja, hiding in plain sight. Call out to him. Hey! He turns at the sound of my voice. Oh, hey man! I didn't notice you were there. I'm really tired. I think it's more like he didn't see me, but that's not the issue. I have two voices for this guy. What the hell? I have like his conspiratory voice and then his regular voice. Where have you been this early? Shopping? Nah, I wasn't shopping. Sometimes I have to visit the math teacher. Yeah, I figured it would be a good idea to find out when the next exam is, since he tells you in advance if you want. So then what's in the bag? I thought I'd go shopping while I was outside. I need supplies to continue the fight against the vast feminist conspiracy! Okay. Thought you didn't go outside. I wear a hat now. Said not to point out that he's not wearing a hat. Awkward silence settles between us, and then Kenji breaks in by pushing his door open slowly, releasing a creaking sound in the air that only makes the moment seem more awkward. He sets the bag down down inside his room, then closes the door. I'm surprised you went out of your way to find out a test date. Trying to take advantage of an opportunity to study is pretty diligent. I never study. Oh. I just wanted to know when the next test day was. I'm still going to take it, duh. I just need to know so I know what day I can afford to skip class. He usually sends out updates on that crap for my phone, so I had to step out and check up on it. And why do you have to go out when you can get on your phone? I don't carry a phone. What do you mean you don't carry a phone? You mean you just leave it at home? Nah, I don't use phones. I don't have a phone. Phones. I have no phone. Why don't you have a phone? How can you not have a phone? No phone at all? No phone? I just don't like phones. Actually, I'm kind of scared of them. I don't know why. I think it's some kind of repressed trauma. But basically, when I hear a phone, I get nervous. It's my darkest secret. I have two theories on it. Either I have some fear of receiving some undefined, ominous, life-altering doom call, or I was beaten with a phone in the past. Beaten so badly, I can't remember it. Beaten in the head? Well, what else could I get beaten with a phone that would make me be unable to remember it? I was gonna make a joke that you got smacked so hard in the ass by your phone. Damn it, they beat me to it! Unexpectedly logical. I feel very depressed now. Since this conversation is more or less over, Kenji opens his door again and prepares to head inside. Yeah, I'm going to sleep, dude. Have a good one. That's gonna start in like 20 minutes. I already did something today. Too tired to go to school. Hey, you need some lip balm? A bomb? I accidentally bought two because I thought the store had started selling individual AA batteries. Thanks, but no thanks. Whatever, man. He swiftly enters his lair, finally letting me go to class. For a change, I'm not among the first ones to come into class. Instead, almost everyone else seems to be here already. I recognize most of my class by their face now, though the names escape me still. Yeah, we only know like 3. Class goes on lazily. I think I'm starting to get into the rhythm of the school. I have even stopped worrying about taking notes and being overtly attentive. The first days, I was pretty high strung in class. Muto finishes his lecture about electricity early, but continues without a pause about the festival. So, as you know, this festival is on the day after tomorrow. I hope everyone's project's gonna be successful this year. Have a good time, but also come Sunday. Please keep the meaning of this festival in your minds. Games and fried food! Everyone bursts out in laughter, and so do I. Yes, thank you, Makoto. But what I mean is what's more, the reminder of the sentence is buried beneath the ring of the lunch bells. Everyone starts packing their things. Muto deliberates for a moment, but since almost nobody seems to pay attention anymore, he gives up and sits down. Oh god, it's crowded in the hallway! Oh, as crowded as hallways in the school could probably get. One of the students seems to be heading down for the cafeteria. Hello! I'm gonna make you a one-time only super extra special lunch offer. Amy's homemade lunch boxes, and the privilege of enjoying them in the private with 2 bombshell beauties. Hopefully flirtatious sales pitch echoes in the hallway. Remarkable feat since it's full of people. Amy strikes a very confident looking pose as though as an attempt to one-up her own ridiculous, puffing her very modest chest and making the V for victory with her hand. Sounds delicious. To what do I owe this honor of being invited? You stood there looking really lost and sad, so I thought you could use some company. That is probably the most depressing reason imaginable. Yeah! So how about it? You're probably really lonely and would eat that awful school cafeteria food all alone otherwise. I'm kidding. Sure, have your lunch offer. With pleasure. Let's go to the roof. The roof? Why the roof? Because that's where we eat lunch. And if I don't get up there, then she'll probably wander off, and then I just know she'll go hungry because she never packs a lunch for herself. Who will? Get with me! Is it, Vin? Not answering my questions or waiting for a response, she grabs me by my arm and drags me through the hallways. I attempt to make conversation on the ride. Why do you have an extra lunch? Amy smiles guiltily. Actually, it's yesterday's lunch. I slipped in a run at lunch and forgot to eat it. Huh. Stairway to the roof is a little dilapidated, but it's clearly been used recently. And at the top of the stairs is a door, complete with a missing padlock. Wonder who the intrepid individual was that removed the lock. Emmy shoves the door open and steps beaming into the sunlight. Suddenly, a tall, dark stranger appears out of nowhere, standing imposingly in front of us. Emmy flinches back, almost falling down the steps. Don't fall! Eek! Hello? Yipes! You scared me, Vin! Wait, isn't she? Hello. Noticing that Vin is speaking to me, Emmy looks curiously at me. You two know each other? I look confusingly at Emmy. She's that friend of yours? Vin has sort of gazed towards the clouds drifting above the school. I didn't know you knew this person, Emmy. Why do I know every goal? The awkward silence lasts only for a few seconds until Emmy lets out a tiny giggle, shrugging the confidence off. I invited herself for lunch. If you know him, that's just better. Oh, does this mean I don't get food? Or did you invite him for lunch without the lunch? Neither. I have food for free. 3. Nice thinking. They walk into the other end of the roof while I stay at the clock tower for a while, taking in the atmosphere. There's nobody else but us here. Guess the roof is not as popular as it is in other schools. To be fair, most roofs are also locked. A few run-down benches and tables are scattered around the edges, perhaps in an attempt to make the rooftop look less desolate. The small pebbles covering the roof rattle beneath our feet. Peek through the chain-link fence to take a look at the other school grounds and beyond. Students are strolling in pairs, in groups, around the quadrangle at the cafeteria. Few delivery trucks are driving past the school towards the convenience store nearby. Convenience store! Lily, let's go! I should probably stop that, scaring the guinea pigs. Somewhere a watchdog barks at a passerby. Somehow, when I look towards the town center, the small town feel strikes me very strongly, almost palpably. The hectic lifestyle of big metropolises seems so far away and foreign here. Nobody has to run to catch a bus like their life depended on it, or get their senses overloaded by the neon lights and traffic jams. I feel surprisingly optimistic about this new life of mine. Look at my new hometown, even if it's going to be mine for only one short year. Finding out about my illness and having to move away from home all came so suddenly. I haven't had time to think of how I feel about it. When I step out of the shadow of the clock tower to the open, I feel warmth touching my back. The sun shines for a perfectly clear Korean sky. A cool breeze sweeping over the rooftop makes me shiver, but only briefly. The wind carries the scent of trees and flowers, not smog or gas exhaust like it used to just a few weeks ago. Emmy settles on a bench with Rin in tow, produces one big and two small lunchboxes from her bag. Come on, Hisao, what are you waiting for? She's beckoning me to join them, making room on the already small bench. I see myself on the corner of the bench to take as little room as possible. It's pretty cramped, but somehow all three of us fit on it. Impressive view. Emmy suppresses a giggle and places a lunchbox in front of Rin and hands another lunchbox to me. Here you go, lunch as promised. Homemade no less. I'm impressed. What? This looks really good. Thanks. I make them myself when I can. Conversation dies off as I set about the business of feeding myself. Taking a few bites, I glance up and notice Rin deftly opening the lunchbox and popping a forkful of food into her mouth using only her feet. Even though I've seen her before, I can't help but be impressed at her dexterity. It's also a reminder of the sort of place I am in right now. Will I ever get used to sights such as this? I can't decide if getting used to such a thing would be a good thing or a bad thing either. Does getting used to this place mean that I'm giving up on being a normal person? Does it just mean that I'm becoming more understanding about those around me? Distracted from my thoughts by the sight of Emmy tearing into her lunch as if she had insulted her ancestors. You seem pretty hungry. Emmy looks up, mouth half full, and swallows before nodding. My morning runs always works up an appetite. Which is great, because then I can burn through lunch pretty quickly. Helps keep my girlish figure. What would happen if you lose it? Would you become a I love Red. I very nearly choked on my lunch trying not to laugh. It's a figure of speech. Does your figure help with the run in the mornings too? Do you always talk like this? Talk like what? Talk like what? I think that answers my question. Never mind. So, I'm struggling to think of small talk instead of on the obvious question. How'd you two meet? Ren seems content to let Emmy answer this question. Someone in the housing department thought we'd complement each other, so we assigned rooms next to each other. Complement each other? Like shoes and a shirt. Huh? Emmy giggles at my confusion. Put us together and we got all our limbs. Get it? Ah. So I started helping Vin get ready in the morning. That was fast. I mean, you can't help someone get dressed every morning and not get along. I see. Ren chooses a moment to interject. I have trouble with shirts. Right, that seems fairly obvious. Really? Kind of? This isn't helping, but at least Emmy seems to find the whole thing funny. That, combined with the fact that Rin is genuinely curious, makes me feel slightly better and yet confused. Yeah, seeing Rin confused is kind of a weird thing for me. I mean, you've got no arms. So, putting on a shirt seems to be like one of those things that would be difficult. You know what? I'm just going to stop talking now. It'll save me a lot of trouble in the long run. Rin nods in what I suspected meant to be a sage manner. I see. The conversation dies as I turn my attention back to my lunch. It's really good. Let me finish her lunch first and makes a contented noise. That was good! She busies herself with cleaning up her lunch, then speaks up. I'm thirsty. Oh, I almost forgot about that. Sorry. With flourish, she reaches into a bag and removes a trio of juice boxes. Tosses me one that appears to be cranberry juice, one to one that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk, complete with a pink color scheme, keeps an equally pink box of some kind of fruit punch for herself. Ren dexterously stabs her straw through the top of the box and begins to drink. I'm once again impressed by how flexible she is. This time I keep my comment to myself. Seriously, how much stretching do you have to do every day for this? Somehow I don't think either Emmy or Rin are the sorts of people to think twice about the way they walk around their particular disabilities. Rin especially so. Dude, she gives off the impression of being entirely unaware that she's missing any limbs at all. Whether or not that's a conscious decision is another matter. I'm honestly not sure. So, Hisao, how do you like it up here? Huh? It's quite nice, actually. I like high places for the view. I'm the opposite. I have a fear of falling, which is triggered if I know I'm high up. Thanks for inviting me here. And for the lunch, too. Emmy grins a 1,000-watt grin. Pleased by my response, I suppose. No problem. Feel free to eat with us next time, too, okay? I won't make you lunch, but you can bring your own up here. No lunch service? I don't know. Emmy looks mock offended. Trying to take advantage of my good nature. The nerve! Well, if that's your answer, I guess Rin and I will just keep eating lunch all alone. I'm suddenly assaulted by the most heart-rending puppy dog eyes I've ever seen as Emmy pounce. Kidding, I was kidding. I love to eat lunch up here again. Please don't look at me with that manipulative face of yours. I can't deal with puppy dog eyes. Good location. The company's okay too. Okay. I mean, frowns a bit at my declaration of okay, but she seems happy enough that I accepted her invitation. Guess this makes us friends now. Oh, at least acquaintances. We were already acquaintances, buddy. We're very well in friend territory now. Lunch bell rings, signaling a return downstairs. Rin, you didn't finish your lunch again. I wasn't that hungry. If you don't eat more, you're going to fade away. Ren shrugs, as if this is acceptable risk. Come on, we better get going. The three of us head down the stairs together. The afternoon class passes. Once again, I find myself without a plan for something to do after school. I head to the library to return a couple of books I finished reading. Looking inside, I see that there are about as many students here as there were on Tuesday. All the more evident that for the almost total silence enveloping the room. They dropped the books I borrowed into the return slots of the counter. Yuko suddenly pops up from behind it, quite startled from the banging they make as they hit the trolley next to her. Sorry, Yuko. Didn't mean to startle you. No, that's fine. It happens a lot. I'm used to it by now. Can I help you? It's okay. I think I know where everything is. Thanks anyways. Suppose I'll grab another book or two while I'm here. Not much else to do, and after reading so much during my stay in the hospital, it's becoming a hard habit to break. Wander down the fiction section towards the back of the library, scanning the bookshelves for anything that catches my eye. As I do, I look over in the corner where Hanako has been the last time I was here. Not really expecting anything to come out of it. Hanako! Surprisingly though, she's there. Absorbed completely in a fairly thick book. Decided against intruding on her last time and get back to finding reading material. But I want to hang with her! After an indiscriminable amount of time spent pursuing the aisles, I finally decided on a couple of books to get and slide them off the shelf. With a minimal of fuss, I quickly walk over to the counter, check out my books, and pop them into my bag as I walk out. By the time I leave the main building, sunset isn't too far away. A small trickle of students remain, but the majority have left, presumably to their homes or dorms. I guess I need to buy some supplies. Can't live off cafeteria food and eating out for my entire stay here. To leave for the gates, I made a few loud sketches to try and starve off the tiredness that accumulated over the week. After passing through and rounding the corner, Lilly has a back animation! I see a solitary figure walking downhill towards the small town below. The color of her hair and tapping of her cane are unmistakable. I'm gonna walk up to her, which seems to catch her attention without a word needing to be said. Hi, Lilly! Takes a moment to place the voice, slightly adjusting her head to face a bit more towards the source of my voice as she does. Hisao? Yes, that's me. She seems to have a good memory for voices. the fact that she actually remembered is a pleasant surprise. Good evening. What brings you here? Once again, she gives a small polite bow, and once again, I reply in kind before realizing that I needed to do so. Just going to town. You? My, what a coincidence. Doing the same thing, eh? I usually go shopping on Fridays. She paused for a moment, suddenly looking a little lost. That said, Hanako usually comes to the town with me. Not lost, but worried. The two do seem to be, to keep pretty close tabs on one another. It's kind of surprising that Hanako would just forget Lilly like that. Notice her reading in the library. She probably got caught up in the book. She lets out a small sigh of relief. Thank you. She has a habit of doing that. Avid reader? Right, she doesn't like being around crowds of people, so reading away from everyone lets her relax a bit. Although she probably didn't intend it, I can't help but grimace as I recall my first meeting with her. Hardly wanting to bring it up, I remain silent as we quietly continue to walk down the quiet road. Tack, 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 tack. The road bereft of cars and the students of Yamaku increasingly far behind us. The quiet rustling of the leaves and measured tapping of Lily's cane against the sidewalk are all that can be heard. It's kind of nice, especially compared to the hustle and bustle of where I used to live. Before I know it, I've relaxed so much that a loud yawn escapes before I can control it. Stop saying yawn, I'm yawning a lot. Tired? Yeah, been running ragged these past few days. That's an understatement to be sure. Transferring into a different school would be bad enough, but nothing like this. Well, hopefully everything should settle down for you. This festival's got everyone in a spin right now, and you've been plopped right in the middle of things. The moment I hesitate, but giving her apparent tolerance for frankness, instead of give my full thoughts. I guess. Yamaku's kind of different though. I mean, formality surrounding everything, the isolation around it, not to mention the most obvious difference. It's kind of a whole different mindset. I suppose I'll get used to it though, in time. She gives a matter-of-fact nod, apparently pleased with my answer. Feels almost as if she's included me in the flock of students she's shepherding, along with class 32 and Hanako. Well, not that I mind. It's nice to get my thoughts off of my chest in any case. Bleh. Looking on the bright side, one of us could see a chance for a new beginning. Should cherish the ability to make new friends. That's optimistic. Nevertheless, it's good to have a positive attitude about such things, I suppose. I guess that's a good take on it. So this is what town's like. Walking on down the road, she seems to become somewhat unsettled. Before I could ask what's on her mind, she seems to collect herself and speaks about something else. So, where in town were you going? That's actually a pretty good question. I came in to buy food, but the layout of the place is still totally foreign to me. I had intended to just wander and see what I could find, but with sunset already approaching and nightfall not too far away, that doesn't seem very wise. I'm gonna have to ask her for directions. Again. I was just going to get some food, but now that you mention it, I don't really know the way. Well, that is quite lucky. I was just about to go to the convenience store myself. So, that's why it's Lilly Goes to the convenience store. Well, that answered my question that I've been having on my mind ever since I realized, wait a minute, it's a blind person that's going to the grocery store. Isn't that like the most inconvenient person you could have? Yeah, that's why, because Lilly actually goes to the convenience store. That's funny. Looks like I'll be in your care again, then. Thanks. Together we walk to the store. My pace is carefully slowed to remain beside her. Compared to my usual walking speed, hers is quite a bit slower. Not that it's without reason. Meanwhile, I'm just slow. After what we couldn't be more than several minutes, I catch sight of our objective. This town really is pretty small. Ah, the convenience store. Do they have Dr. Pepper? Please tell me there's Dr. Pepper that I want some. Without further ado, we make our way inside with a greeting from the counter. What if I tag along with you? Usually Hanako would help me, but seeing as she's not here... It takes a moment before I realize what she means. Considering she wouldn't be able to read any of the labels, shopping without any help would be a big pain for her. That said, I can't shake the feeling that she had this idea since I said I was coming here. Sure, it'd be my pleasure. I grabbed 2 well-used red baskets from the small stack beside the entrance, handing one to Lilly. She lays it on the ground, putting her school bag in, rejecting her cane and sliding it through the basket handles before picking it up back up in her right hand. Wait, if she doesn't use her cane... Before I can complete the thought, she comes beside me and pinches the cuff of my uniform in her slender fingers. Is this alright? Sure. I have no reason not to accept. I can think of worse things than shopping with a pretty girl holding on to me, even if it is out of necessity. We navigate our way through the store with not one of the occasional passing customers seem to bat an eyelid. Considering how close Yamaku is, I guess seeing students from there must be entirely normal for the local residents. As we reach each aisle, I quickly check with Lilly and find out what she needs. I grab it along with what I'm looking for and put our items in their respective baskets. I guess this is the same routine she and Hanako follow every Friday. Right, all that's left is the bread and that should be my shopping done. Do you need anything else, Lilly? No, this should be everything. Off we go then. With a quick side trip to the bakery section, we make our way to the registers. I'm guessing I'm making some sandwiches then. The line, thankfully, is almost non-existent. It's not long before we both paid for our food and out of the door. Lilly oh, it's nighttime. I was wondering what that was. As Lilly retrieves her cane and extends it to full length, I waste a minute looking upwards at the night sky while holding both our bags. For a moment, I try to make clouds with my breath, but summer heat doesn't seem to cooperate. Eventually, she rights herself, taking a quick stretch before taking her bag and leaving me to my 2. You tired as well? The festival's preparations have been complete chaos. Shizune breathing down my neck doesn't exactly help things either. Hey, she's only trying to get everything organized. Better now than later, right? I suppose. I'm going to enjoy relaxing in town tomorrow, that's for certain. Guess the festival preparations must be taking their toll on both of them. As we walk into the quiet street, talking between ourselves as we carry our bags of food and supplies from the store. Wait, what's that? There's a very distinctive figure making its way towards us, surrounded by the street lamps. For a second, I think it's another male student from my class. But as he, or should I say, she, gets closer, I recognize her quickly. Hanako? Oh no, Vin! Vin? What are you doing here so late? Vin? Lilly pokes her head up, looks like she's trying to focus on listening more keenly. Suddenly comes to me that I should probably interpret the scene for her. It's Rin Tezuka, I think was her last name, from our school. She stiffens at the name and gives a complicated looking expression, something like a forced fusion of a composed smile and a painful cringe. Ah, I understand. Guess Lilly knows Rin too. Everyone knows each other. Does Lilly not like Rin either? Ah, this is being problematic, isn't it? Rin turns to look at us, looking terribly out of it. I'm not entirely sure if she recognizes either of us, or at least she doesn't acknowledge it if she does. She looks like a zombie, or a statue. A statue of a zombie. But slowly, some symptoms of understanding seem to light in her dark eyes. This is something she must react to. Rin blinks once, very thoroughly. Hello. There was an awkward pause, everyone waiting for someone else to say something. What are you doing here this late? I was wondering about that myself too, just now. Some people asked that just before. I assumed they were wondering the same. I didn't know. They didn't know either. I asked. That's why I'm wondering. So that was pretty much it. It's murder mystery without a murder. So just a mystery. They were going that way. She turns facing her right in order to demonstrate the direction. The other people went to as if that was important. They were chased back like a mechanical puppet in one of those other overly complicated clockworks. For a person who gives an impression of being the quiet type, Rin really does use a lot of words to say things that don't need a lot to be said. Unsure if she's finished, I say nothing. Neither does Lilly, who seems equally robbed of words for the time being. I think that both of us are in fact just scared that any response might provoke her to continue. Our stupefied lack of reaction doesn't faze Rin at all. She keeps looking at us expectantly, calm hint of expression on her blank face. I just like that picture. And I know you guys can't see my mouse, but I was circling over it. She seems to be the kind of person, always so relaxed. As if bowl elephant grade sedatives were flowing in her veins in place of blood. Do you have amnesia? I don't recall you having any of the sort, though. No, I don't think it's that. The other passerbys were probably just worried, though. You do look really lost, the way you're standing in the middle of the street. Oh, I see. Maybe I should have taken some other kind of pose in that case. I pondered for a while whether I should chase this angle further or give up for the sake of my own sanity. I decided on the latter. Seems that most of the time it's better to not read too deeply into what Vin is babbling about. Talking with Vin is like playing chess with a supercomputer who does seemingly completely random moves, as if to mock everything you know about chess. It's like that, except with human interaction. And even if I win, it feels like losing. Damn. It's just like Kenji said, even if I win, I lose. Is this the power of the ghost of Yamaku? Oh no, we're buying the we're falling into the feminist conspiracy! I pushed the thought aside. It's too dangerous to consider further. Probably just Kenji's anti-feminine propaganda getting to me during a moment of weakness. Yeah, maybe taking another pose might have worked. So anyway, you have no idea what you're doing here? She frowns, looking extremely displeased at either my question, its consequences, or the answer she's about to give. I do have some idea. I can't really tell what kind of idea. That sounds like progress, at least. Lily sounds as if she spotted an opening for some kind of discernibly normal conversation. Can't say I show optimism. Yes, there is some. Definitely. The rest will come later. I'm sure of it. I always have reasons. The ensuing silence kills Lily's hope all too visibly. That didn't last long. Riz, as far as I can tell, unbased, an assurance aside, what should be done? Just leave it on devices, whatever those are. But it's late, and I don't think we'll be getting any thanks if Rin is found standing here in the middle of the night. Which she probably will, unless she manages to remember what she was doing here in the first place. As for me trying to guess what might have been going on in her mind when she decided to embark on this adventure, Chester seems to be on par with winning the lottery. Several times in a row. Lily is oddly quiet too. I appreciate some support from the sidelines here, especially if she's more familiar with Rin than I am. But it can't be helped. Seems her familiarity with Rin isn't exactly why she's standing subdued. So, I assume you're going somewhere, not coming back to school. Any idea where? Her eyes widen in shock as she jolts back into a somewhat artificial way, making it seem like an act rehearsed for situations like this. Are you a mind reader? Is that your disability? How unique! No, what? Why would you think that? You knew what I was doing. What's with that face? It was just an educated guess. We walked the same street in the other direction just before we got to the store. If we were going to school, we would have met you on the way. Oh. She looked a little disappointed. Like Kenji, Rin appears quick to jump to completely irrational conclusions. Maybe it's something in the water here. Take a mental note to stock up on soft drinks. I would have made that mental note even if it wasn't for this. You know, that's the second time this week that someone asked if I was a mind reader. Did I really give off that impression? Ren shrugs her shoulders, which is all the answers I get. You know, maybe you should come with us back to school. Lily interjects just as I'm about to further debunk my alleged mind-reading capabilities. She sounds rather concerned, the paper-thin smile on her face badly disguising that fact. Maybe she came to the same conclusion I did. For everyone's sake, I decided to let the mind-reading topic drop, as it's entirely inane anyway. Yeah, Lily's right. If you can't remember, there's no point in staying here. Lily considers this rather simple deduction for a moment, then nods. Okay. Okay, new scene. That's all for this time, because we have hit 33 minutes, 34 minutes. So, that's all for this time. This is Reselling the Jug Gamer. Hope you enjoyed the series so far, and hope to see you guys back here again when we get back to school with Lily and Rin. See you guys then.